My dear friend Gegga, it is so wonderful to be connected to you yet again for the exciting launch globally of SMILER Can Change It All. And how would you say it in Icelandic? SMILER
SMILER getur öllu breytt.
getur öllu breytt.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't
Very
speak.
easy, very easy.
Congratulations, my friend.
Thank you so much. Thank you for all your help and support in republishing my book. I'm so grateful. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, I'm grateful to be a part of this journey. As you know, we've been sharing the Smiler all around the world, getting people to recognize it as an instrument of joy. And I talk about the story, but I would love for you to share, how did you come up with Smiler before it even became the book?
That's an amazing story. It was exactly the day when the collapse of the bank was here in Iceland. And then I was on a workshop with a famous guy named Neil Donald Walsh in south of England. And he mentioned some quote by Thich Nhat Hanh: if you smile 5 times a day for no reason, you can change your life in 90 days. And I was, what? That's exactly what I needed. And because that was the day the bank crash was, and I saw myself and everybody else in deep shit, you know. And I had already, it fits my idea because I had already made this object 8 years before or so, when I was in the University Art School of Iceland. And I didn't know what to do with it. I just put it in some box. I just made it for fun. And now it was time for it to rise. And yeah, because it's difficult to smile without a reason, especially if you're shocked and you see your finances, everything just broke down.
Yeah.
Breakdown. You need some. So it was thought as instrument of joy, and to remind me and other people, my landers, Icelandic people especially, I was thinking of, who I knew was very angry and scared with the future, and just to remind us that, well, it's our attitude that matters. It really doesn't matter what's happening. Everything can happen, you can't control it. And it's how you deal with it, how you believe in yourself.
Yeah. Well, for those who aren't aware, when the financial crash hit, it was a little different in Iceland than in other places, because in Iceland, you guys woke up and your bank accounts were empty, right? So whatever you had in there before was just literally gone, which didn't happen in America like that. So yeah, that's a pretty strong crash to
Yeah,
experience.
people were in deep depth and lost their homes, and so there was a lot of anger and frustration.
Yeah.
Understandable, so yeah.
So it makes sense that you would need some sort of a magic wand to help you smile through rebuilding. So tell me, when you created Smiler, I mean, a lot of people ask me, like, what is that? And I wear the one that you have on now, which is made of porcelain, and they're like, is that bone? Is it tribal? What came into the making of this actual shape?
Well, the idea is, I was thinking of dogs, they are always very happy, joyful, and they don't care. Oh my God, there's one. You're a cute one. They're always friendly. They're always, in the moment and happy with their owner, not asking for so much, just in the moment. Oh, give me something nice here. And so they're our teachers. I saw dogs are the best in our friend and our best friend, and they are our teacher. I see them. So to honor dogs and their teaching, I made it look like a bone, a dog bone. And it's made of porcelain. Porcelain, handmade by me. This type, this is the original type. It's handmade by me, so all my love is in it, and all my creativity and passion for humankind and love in the world. Yeah. And now I get a little bit sensitive. It's a little bit rough times now for so many. Yeah, and it's even more crust now for many. Yeah, so to honor dogs, and I made these by my hands, and there are also 2 other versions, which also keeps my love and message with them. And yeah, and I always think whatever I do, all the materials I use have to be man friendly, have to be, no poison, nothing that is hurting or
Right. So
yeah.
non-toxic, not bad for the planet, not bad for humans. So show us the other one. So this one is all tin.
This is
Also,
all tin, and this is lead-free tin. This is rather unusual. There's no lead in it. It shines like silver, but it's not. So it's much cheaper. And then I have also many colors made of resin, like this one, like that one. And yeah, I think I have 11 colors or so. And they come in a nice package like that. And I'm very, I misuse my children's sometimes, so they are on the back.
yes,
Of my kids.
that's awesome.
And the message from SMILER is written inside.
Yes, you've got more about the philosophy inside the packaging. And in addition to it being a piece of jewelry that can remind us that we are powerful creators, shall we do it for them? Shall we demonstrate?
Yeah.
You basically put it in your mouth and it's going to
Yeah,
force you to smile.
If I'm really in bad mood, I need to do that.
Exactly. And once it forces you to smile, it's going to force some of these happy chemicals to come out of our brain. So it is kind of fake it till you make it, but it actually does stimulate the brain.
Yeah, research show that even though you fake smile, especially if it goes up to your eyes, wrinkles, it influences the brain. So it starts to create the happy hormones, which I love this idea because I'm a nurse and I worked for many years in a mental hospital. And I know what's important, even though I say this is remind me that I'm a spiritual creator, I'm more than this body and the blood and the bones. I'm much more than that. I need to remind me of that. And I have power, but still I think it's very important to remind myself that I am not the only power, I don't even know what's best for me very often. So it's not about I want this and I want that, and I'm going to manifest this and that and control my life. I have seen in my experience that it often creates disappointment, So it's my attitude to know that I'm always safe. I'm part of God's creation. I have the power within to share love, joy, and all the magic tools.
Yes, and that's what is included in this book. SMILER Can Change It All. And you call it the SMILER philosophy. And the philosophy is just to remind us that number one, we are powerful creators with our mind, with our imagination, with our thoughts, and also with our speech, like what we say. So tell us a little bit more about the SMILER philosophy that we can read in the book.
I don't remember what's in my book anymore. It's a long time I wrote it first time. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm going to read one piece out of it.
Yep.
Because one of the things that I really like is that you also have suggestions for what we can do on a day-to-day basis to live the philosophy. It's not just read about it and think about it, but live it. And so on page 54, it's all about gratitude. I am grateful for everything always, even the boring stuff sometimes. When the going gets rough, gratitude is a powerful thing. We all have a hard time staying optimistic and joyful while in the midst of fear and pain. Negative feelings can overwhelm us and take up residence in our lives. Anger, jealousy, guilt, rejection, loneliness, despair. The list is long and dull and can literally drown us if we don't briskly swim on in a sea of appreciation. And so you talk about 10 things you can be grateful for today. Like, make the list, right? Like, these are actual things that clinical studies have proven can help us boost our mood and our attitude.
Yeah. I believe in gratitude, and gratitude is also about being in the moment. So it's always what I'm grateful for now. And for example, if I get worried or something, I say, oh, okay, here is my coffee with the cream, and I love it. So start somewhere. And the best thing is to be grateful for yourself. That's the best thing. That's the only thing that's really, really matters. If you are grateful for yourself, everything else will follow. So no shame, no guilt, believing that you are God's child. And when I say God, I'm talking about the life force, the loving force, the creativity. I just like to call it or name it God, and yeah, so in my life, I have been struggling, for many, many decades to love myself totally, with all my faults, if I have faults, and it's tough. No, I find it tough, maybe not others, but
Me too.
Yeah, because we are programmed to see ourselves as a sinner, and we don't deserve the best. We have to earn it. All kinds of rules in this world, all kinds of rules. And I'm still practicing, poof, poof, get away from me, get away from me. I'm holy human being. I'm a holy soul. And the SMILER reminds me of that. I'm my own owner of my life, And when I'm there is nothing that can scare me of, or make me fearful. There's nothing I need to do to, get some approval or love from others. So when I'm there and when I'm reading my own book, and remind myself, yeah, okay, it's working. I've done it before.
Yeah.
Then, yeah, it's simple, but it's practice.
Yes. And that's kind of how you have it broken down in this book. Like, you could just read a couple of pages and really soak in the wisdom of it and let that be your focus for the day. So I like that it's short, it's practical, and we can put it into practice. And the other thing that I remember that you said a lot about, which for me as a self-love advocate like you, for me it was a struggle to just find myself worthy of love just as I am, even with all of my flaws. But one of the things that you said that really struck me is that this programming that we have makes us think that we're not allowed to make mistakes. But you have a different opinion or attitude towards mistakes. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I see I see mistakes as experiment, So there are really no mistakes, and I can always learn from what I do, if it's good for me or if I don't feel good about it. So then I know how it works for me. And I wouldn't know if I hadn't tried it on. So in that way, there are no mistakes. And as I believe God is, or the loving power, it would never, ever shame us or want us to feel guilty. It's like child. Would you say to a 3-year-old child, "Oh, you did a big mistake," when it, drop the bottle or fall on the floor or whatever, or even if it screams or hits somebody. Oh, it's a big mistake. Now what you would do, I suppose, is to take the child in your arms and give it a hug. You would never shame it or blame it. If it does something that hurts others or it cries over, you would do that. Your instinct would tell you what it needs.
Right.
Yeah. So child doesn't make any mistakes. It's learning.
Yes.
And so am I. I'm just 61 and I'm still learning.
Yeah. And I'm 51 and I'm still learning every day. Every week there's a new revelation.
So there isn't even a reason to forgive in that way if we see that everybody's doing their best. I've done many mistakes, if I call it mistakes, I've hurt people. I've shamed my kids before, when I was younger mother. So in that way, I did mistakes. And I learned from it. Now I know, okay, that's not the kind of mother I want to be, or, so.
Well, there's something else that you and I have talked about a lot, and we've already done an interview on it. But for those who are meeting you for the first time, I think it's really impressive, the story about one of your first major crashes. So before the 2008 financial crash, there was another time when you were riding home on a bicycle.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Because you have experienced several crashes, and that's one of SMILER's lessons, or one of Gegga's sayings, that there is a gift in every crash. But one of the things that I find really impressive is that the universe, or you, or God, is kind of giving you many opportunities to learn certain lessons about self-care and listening to when your body needs rest or other things. So you know where I'm going with this. Can you enlighten us?
Are you there have been more than one crashes, physically on my body to help me relax. I'm guessing you're talking about the first one on bicycle.
Yes.
I was walking with a friend coming from a bar, had some red wine. And I'm not used to ride bicycles, but she had a very new one, very shiny. And I said, "Oh, can I try it out?" Yeah. No, well, let me try it. And I did it very, had a lot of self-confidence then, after this. I think it was, not much red wine, but too much to think clearly. And I had shoes like that, It's many years ago. I need to excuse myself. It's many years ago. I would never ever do it now.
You mean you'd never ride a bicycle with high heels, having had a little wine?
No, I guess not. I don't know my future. So And suddenly I lost control, and I went down many steps, concrete, and it was, and then I just crashed, and I lost my, what do you call it when you block out?
So you lost consciousness.
Yeah, consciousness. I lost that, and I was moved to the hospital, and my bone was broken. My eye was, I couldn't see. It was swallowed. It was not possible to see if it was damaged for the rest of my life, because it was not possible to open it. I lost a tooth. Yeah, my eyebrow went off, and well, I looked beautiful. And then I decided, it was before I made SMILER. I don't know what happened, but I had that intention to go to party week from that, and I was so happy. I was so happy and joyful that I was not, my neck has not broke. So I was smiling, laughing constantly. My face was yellow, red, blue, all the colors, and I just loved it. I'm an artist. Oh, what a nice painting! It was even better than that one. And everyone, my family, oh my God, don't let me see your face. And it was doubled. And I was so happy, really. I didn't need to force it. I didn't have any SMILER then. Just so grateful that my body was healthy. I could walk and speak and everything. So in a week, a miracle happened. I went to that party. It was a reunion from 12 years old school. So, and I was astonished. Now, many years later, when I was thinking of the SMILER philosophy about gratefulness and the joy and the laughter and the, just put some intention to the future and still don't be stressful. Happens what happens. And I can see how magic can happen. And well, you can't see scar in my face any longer. It's all wrinkles, what you see. It's not scars.
And your vision?
And my vision is perfect with my glasses on, Still the age. So totally healthy in my face. It happened very fast. Nobody would believe it.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, that was, and I remember that story, that experience when I started working with SMILER. So it was a big lesson how we have the power within. Don't, it's easy to fall in the pit. Oh, poor me, I shouldn't have done it. How stupid was I? No, it was an example of the gift. It's a gift in everything. It's a gift in everything. I would never have missed it.
Wow. That is some serious emotional maturity when you can say, yeah, there's a gift even in that. Well, the other crash story that I think is really important to talk about, you and I have both talked a lot about codependency and our tendency that we have to take care of others, to put ourselves last on the list, if we're even on the list, to even ignore when our body is telling us stop. Now, I experienced burnout once. The second time that I got close to it, I was like, no, I'm not going back into burnout. But you, my friend, you have had messages from your body telling you to take time off, to rest, and you didn't listen. And that led to yet another crash. So let's talk about that, shall we?
Yeah. It's my problem. I don't listen to myself. Sometimes I'm stuck, believing my thoughts that tells me you're never enough. You need to do something more. You need to be a little bit better. You can do more. And I have the savior, complex in me, and I'm I need to say that I'm born with codependency genes, and I'm not going into that story, but I was never listening to my body and what my needs are. And I've been working at hospitals as a nurse and midwife for 35 years. And I was working at the mental hospital for 6 years. And I was working against my values. Everything there was not fitting with my own values. And I was running around with pills and, very little time to speak to my patient, even though they were coming from, trying to commit suicides. So I felt I was never doing enough, and it was an emergency ward. So, and also my close family member was a patient there and was treated very, very badly. I can't give, the mental health care system here in Iceland many stars. Sorry, but I can't. And I was working there trying to change it, trying to do my best. And I could never, ever say no if I was asked to come to extra shift, Got phone calls Sundays morning, 7:00, Saturday mornings. I was called from summer holiday, skip my summer holiday, back to work. So I was working 24/7. Holy shit. And one day I just crashed. I was picking some pills for my patients and I started to shake. It was like a nervous breakdown. No, not me. Not me. I'm the nurse here on the ship. I'm not one of the patients. But I couldn't stop it. So I cried and I just broke down. And I went home and I was going to be on maybe some weeks or months to rest. It's called burnout, these days. It's very fashionable now. And after a few days, I felt that in me, I imagine it's like when a drinker needs to have some more, more wine. Just one more. I can't stay without it, because I'm a workaholic. So I always was working. And I told myself, or one of my stupid thoughts told me, you can't stay home, you can walk. Of course you go to work. And then I thought, some more stupid voice told me, oh, you need to be endured to have peace to stay at home. So what happened? Some miracles happened and God always sent me what I want. So I had a big crash. I fell off a cliff. I think it was about 2 meters backwards and broke my elbow, my ribs, had almost broke my head. And I was there in the dark, 11-degree frost, minus 11 without phone. And it was starting to be very dark. And oh my God, that was the first time I was laying there on my back that I screamed for help in my life. Because I couldn't stand up for pain. And then I lay there. And the funny thing is, when I fell and I felt the pain, I said, thank you, God. How stupid is that?
Why were you thanking God for that?
Yeah, because I knew he was answering my prayers, that I needed to be endured to rest my body, soul, spirit, mind. Wow. I couldn't handle it. I was not capable of protecting myself. My mind was too fucked up in codependency. So that's why I said, thank you, God. And then I felt the pain and I screamed out, help. I never forget it. And nobody heard it, of course. So I needed to stand up. And somehow I could that. And I walked, I think, maybe 2 kilometers or so, in a very slippery. Well, it sounds like a very dramatic story.
Yeah,
But it was.
it is.
And after that, my elbow started to, and my arm started to get very, very swollen. It was almost double, and it was a lot of blood within it. I didn't know how badly it was injured. So, and I didn't went to the hospital until 2 days later, because
Gegga.
I'm not worth it.
Oh my. Wow.
I don't want to bother some hospital staff, or it's so crazy. And when I see it, then I saw so clearly how sick mind can be. I just went to the hospital when my friend told me, well, I'll drive you if you don't go there for yourself. And then I needed to go to surgery, fix it. And now I'm with beautiful wires here inside, So I really hope that I don't ask for another lesson like that.
So you got the time off. You were forced to
I got
recover
the time.
from burnout.
I was forced, and then I had the excuse for myself that I had a broken arm. And then the doctor, when that was a little bit better, some months later, the doctor at the hospital forced me to go to, do you call this organization where everybody with burnout goes to, and get some, psychologist or, physical therapy support to build you up again.
Wow, that's great that they actually have that in Iceland.
Yeah. And the doctor said, well, you won't get your salary unless you do that. So I was forced to, and it was the biggest crash for my ego ever, because I myself, of course, saw myself as a teacher there.
Exactly.
I don't need anything. And when I went there for the first time, and I saw my, support person, I just cried and cried and cried for hours. I couldn't speak. And she said, you need to be here for a long time.
Oh,
So that's how the ego can really take all the control, And I believed it. So I have to take very good care of myself. I can feel it. It's sometimes triggering me. So this is very important for me.
that's right. You have a guidebook.
I have a guidebook for myself, and what I have also is I have humor. I think humor is very important in life, how whatever is happening, I have done many crazy things, which I'm not going to tell here, or I don't know, but I have humor, and that's, takes all the shame of things. Humor is a medicine. Yeah.
Indeed, it is. Well, the other beautiful part of your story is that art is a big part of your healing. So, this painting here, that's a Gegga original on my wall. And you probably, if you're watching, you may have seen the other one in my bedroom that she created after my book, The Orgasm Prescription for Women. So, you have a studio there at your home where you're creating art, like what is behind you and other little porcelain things. Talk to me about how art is also therapeutic for you.
Yeah, I went to the University of Art in Iceland 21 years ago. And before that, I've always been, like doing something, but I had never ever, draw something or paint it, because I didn't believe I could do it. And suddenly it started. And what I love to do the most is the creation of life. So it's always, I'm standing in front of my empty canvas, and there are something flowing on it. And yeah, it's a medicine for me and many more, because it takes all the blocks. It's your emotion get released on the canvas or paper or whatever you do. You know, I used to work with clay also, and I'm always working with creation of life. Something is starting. I make a lot of clay in wombs, woman wombs, and yeah. And when I have people coming to me, my clients for therapy, they are using art also, if they like. I have myself meditate. Sometimes I meditate, and then I just paint like a kid, with the thought, I will throw it away. I will throw the painting away. And that's extraordinary paintings, you know, and I don't throw them away.
So it's no pressure. Yeah.
No pressure. So when you're making art, no pressure, even though if you were cooking or something, it doesn't matter. You don't need to be painting or making sculptures. Just with no pressure, you're just playing like a kid. You can make a cake and just play with it, you know. You don't have to follow the receipt.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that, you know. I hate receipts.
Well, for those of us that are not as artistic in the kitchen, I like recipes. But I get what you're saying about when you're creating art. It's best to just go in with that open heart and let the creativity flow through you. Well, I'm excited to spend some time with you before the holidays, to see you in person, and maybe I will even come away with a couple of autographed copies that we can maybe do a giveaway to somebody watching this, so that they can get a hold of the SMILER book, as well as maybe one of the SMILERs. Gegga, I thank you so much for the gift that you are in this world. Thank you for continually showing up, even when it's scary, even when there are, you know, issues coming up. I know we went through a lot of drama with publishing the book in Icelandic and English. You know, it's a flip book, so it's English if you're opening it from this side, but if you open it from this side, it's Icelandic. I mean, how cool is this? So it's been a lot, but I just want to thank you. I honor you for your resilience and your persistence.
Well, yeah, that's one of my qualities. I never give up.
Thank God.
And thank you for not giving up on me. It was a big and long story, big drama to republish this book. So many problems came up. I would like to point out one quote I wrote here in this book for people who are, you know, worrying about money. And it fits with my book. I say here on one page 51, a wise man invest in his smile. And other one, your smile pays your bills. So if people think of that when they go to the store and need some extras in a service, you know, take your mask off and smile.
Yes,
yeah.
A smile does go a long way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in addition to being a nurse, a midwife, an artist, a sculptor, an author, and a speaker around the world, Gegga is also trained in internal family systems, the work of Byron Katie, and NLP. And so if you would like, you can actually have private sessions with Gegga. Much of her work is in Icelandic, but she can always meet with people anywhere in the world over Skype. So if you visit gegga.is or smiler.is, and both of these links will be in the description, then you can reach out and have an exploratory discovery call with Gegga to see if it's a good fit, and get some coaching, get some support, which has helped me personally as I was going through some stuff. And I so appreciate you and the gift that you are.
And I want to point out that it's free for 15 minutes to just check if we fit together.
15.
15 minutes just to, get to know me and see if I'm the right one for you, or then just send me an email and we'll see.
Wonderful. All right, so there you have it, my friends. Get yourself a copy of SMILER, Can Change It All, or in Icelandic, SMILER getur
öllu breytt.
Getur öllu breytt.
Yeah.
I'll work on it. Thank you, Gegga.
Thank you so much, Andrea. You are a magic on this planet. Yeah, thank you.
It's my pleasure. So until we meet again, my friend, remember that you too are a gift to the world. So share your presence with passion. Much love.